Yeah, this is the concluding lecture of the chapter Tsunami, which has got three cases has been discussed. One for local Indian cases, three four cases, and one case is of Thailand, Phuket, and then about the animals. Now we shall be concluding this chapter today itself with some of the comprehension part, and two poems have been supplemented. So one poem you will go through it, and one the geography lesson by Julfikar Ghosh we will be covering in this particular lecture only. So let us start with it. Take out page number first, 27. In page number 27, we find some of the questions of cross verification has been they have been given. True or false? Ignatius lost his wife, two children, father-in-law, and brother-in-law. Yeah. Sanjeev made it safely. Yeah, initially, but then later on he perished because he went to went out of the way and saving the life of a lady. Meghna was saved by relief helicopter. Yeah. Almost further realized that tsunami was going to hit the island. Okay, so just go through these questions. Her mother and aunt washed away with a tree that they were holding on to. Yeah. So these questions you will go to page number 28. Page number 28, we have few of the questions. Why did Tilly and the family come to Ireland? Now they came to that particular place, Thailand, to celebrate Christmas. What were the warning signs that both Tilly and her mother saw? The beach shrinking, then frothing. Okay, so these are the just mark the this thing and just to mention it. These are the all factual questions. Do you think that Tilly's mother was alarmed by them? No, not exactly. It was Tilly who was alarmed, and she only raised the alarm to and persuaded the family to leave the beach and go to pool, and then they went to the third floor to save their lives. Where had Tilly seen the sea behaving in the same strange fashion? She had watched a video which was shown by a geography teacher of Hawaiian Islands in 1946 when the tsunami did come. So that you mention in just 2 to 3 lines. Okay. Now come to page number 30. We have some comprehension check. In the tsunami, 1,50,000 people died. How many animals? Very few, here and there. Okay, not much of the carcass was found. How many people did and animals died in Yala National Park? 60 visitors were washed away, and two water buffaloes were found dead. What do people say about elephants of Yala National Park? They heard it and then they went to the higher reaches. What did the dogs of Gale do? The dogs refused to go to beach, which were their favorite pastime, going and playing on the beach in the mornings, but they refused, sensing some strange or some calamity thing is going to happen. Now, working with the language, working with the text it has been given. Okay, so when he felt earthquake, Ignatius immediately worried about tsunami. No, he did not worry about tsunami. He thought that some earthquake thing is going to happen. Had he understood that the tsunami is going to come, he would have rushed and moved out of the place very fast. But he just was, keeping television on the floor, keeping it. So that was not that important as the life is. So he did not realize what the catastrophe has on his way. What kind of catastrophe will struck, the tsunami struck. Okay, give reasons for your answer. This is the reason. Which sentence in the text tells you that Ignatius' family did not have any time to discuss? You just find out and underline those sentences. Which of the following describes Sanjeev in your opinion? He was brave, he was selfless, he was heroic. So these are 2-3 words in which he showed the bravery while saving the lady and lost his own life. Use the words from the list to complete the 3 sentences. Wherever or is there, you have a decision, but and is there, you have to write same words of the same emotion, same fervor. But where or is there, you have to write words of the contrast. That I'm leaving this to you. How are Meghna and Alma's stories similar? Yeah, both were washed away and then picked, and then both were traumatized. So just compare in 2 to 3 lines each. So 6 or 7 lines of answer will be there. What were the different ways in which Tilly's parents could have reacted to her behavior? First way, they were not ready to accept what Tilly was telling, but then later they accepted and went to pool. I mean, leaving one water body going to other water body. That was also dangerous, but so they were not accepting it fully. Okay, but we should respect each other's knowledge, and which they would have respected and reached to third floor sooner rather than having a stopover at pool. So this must have been avoided. Others, they would have refuted. Okay, another way, the Tilly's parents must have refuted. Okay, then we'll not follow and whatever you're saying, though she had the concrete reasons to believe that something, havoc, something catastrophic is about to strike. But then Tilly's parents would have, been adamant, or they must have obeyed, but they were having a line in between, not obeying and fully obeying, having a line. They shifted from beach to the pool, and then they realized something, worst is going to come. Then they climbed the third floor. If Tilly's award is to be shared, what do you think would share with it? Tilly's award, her parents or a geography teacher? Obviously, her geography teacher. What are the two different ideas about why so few animals were killed? Which idea do you find more believable? Okay, so what are the two different ideas? They had a sixth sense and they can, see the thing. So it is more believable is that, they can feel the tremors, because series of incidents, incidences start before any catastrophic condition strikes. So that has to be done. Now, working with language is there. Okay, working with language. This question, what to do? Three things have been given: fast movement, slow movement, and neither fast, neither slow. Okay, and we have to, from the first part, you need to pick up the words. You will pick up all the words, but I'm giving you just a hint of it, that in the fast movement you will write rushed, rushing back. These are fast movement. Slow movement, swept away, receded, washed away. This is slow movement. Neither slow, neither fast is just floating. Okay, not going anywhere. So this is how I have, few I have done. One thing you might notice, that wherever life was there, that was rushing. The water came rushing and people went rushing out. Okay, the life was there. Wherever lifeless things were there, they got swept away, or they kept on floating. So this is how you can bifurcate this words. Clue has been given, so you just fill it in yourself. Just like I'm giving you one of the two, and this match the following also you can do yourself. The earth trembled, but not many people felt the trembling. When the zoo was flooded, there was a lot of confusion, and many animals escaped into the countryside. We heard with relief that the lion has been captured. The zookeeper was struck in a tree, and his rescue was filmed by the TV crew. There was much excitement in the village when the snake charmer came visiting. So this is how you have to do it, and just do it in your notebook. This speaking and writing and voice part will be dealing after reading this particular poem. One poem is there. Okay, so we are going to just read the poem now. Take out page number 34 and let us go through the poem. Now this poem is all about, this poem relates, it has a larger meaning. This poem does not have any simple meaning, though it is very, those who have, those who have flown in, they have flew in an aircraft or have gone somewhere using by air, You must have observed this thing, but let me create a picture of it. Another thing is that when we see Earth from distance, it looks like, pieces. That this city is there, that city is there, this river is passing from here. But men are fighting for the parts of the land. Okay, man, if you look at whole of the universe, man is just a small entity. Okay, and when we see Earth is even bigger, when we see solar system, Earth is just a small part. When we see sun, Earth is 30 suns can 30 moons, Earth whole size Earth can can be collected to make a sun. And then we have got huge universe. So man is just a small entity, just a dot. And then also man fights for small little petty things. So this also all have been discussed. So let us see. When the jet sprang in the sky, it was clear why the city had developed the way it had. When the jet, aircraft sprang into the sky, it just flew in the sky. And when the observer or the poet is watching down, now you can justify the things why the city has been planned or developed in the same way it has. Seeing it scaled 6 inches to the mile. 6 inches to the mile means for 1 mile on ground you have got 6 inches on the paper. That is what the term of geography is there. Scale is there always, 1 centimeter to 100 kilometer or 1 centimeter to 10 kilometer. So the poet is scaling. Okay, 1 mile on earth, 6 inches on paper, or 6 inches it can see, that is 1 mile. If 6 inches is from from finger to thumb, then you can see that this is 1 mile on the earth, which is 6 inches over here or on the paper. There seemed an inevitability about what on ground had looked haphazard, unplanned, and without style. Now, whatever poet's observing, he's seeing that why the things are placed in that particular way. On the ground, we feel that city is haphazard, but it's not like that. It is planned in a way, seeing the overview of it. When the jet sprang into the sky. Now, it is all happening when the jet is springing up, and that is just climbing up and up and up. Okay, when the jet reached 10,000 feet, it was clear why the country. Now, initially, when the jet goes up, when the aircraft goes up, it goes up, first 500,000, 2,000, 3,000 feet. As it goes up, we see first the cities are there. Then we see whole of the country in totality and various relief features. As it goes up and up and up, after certain height, the ground is not visible. But till 10 to 12,000 feet, the ground is quite visible. So first it rose up, and 6 inches to a mile he was able to see. The poet Zulfikar Ghosh was able to see. But later on, when it rose to 10,000 feet, now he is able to see the whole of the country. Like there's in India it is not possible, I'll tell you. In India, what happens, India is a very huge country, second largest country. But in European countries, when the jets go up, okay, you'll find many countries. Okay, you pass through many of the countries, and you can see that this that country, this that country. Okay, I mean, you can figure out the countries over Europe, not in India. In India, you can see the states, that this is one state, but in Europe, you can see the countries also. So that comparison has been made. It is clear why the country had cities where the rivers ran. Now you see, where you see many cities in a country, you can see that all the cities are planned around rivers, water bodies, because water is a primary need anybody needs. Now, if you see Indus Valley civilization, Indus river was there, or Ganga Valley, or you can say Nile Valley civilization. Nile is also has gift of, I mean, Egypt is called as gift of Nile. And then we have got Mesopotamia, Dajla and Farat were there. So all the whatever the or you can China, you can see whatever the civilizations were there, they were around the rivers only. And you see your own city, Pusa, Pus Nadi is there, Pus river is there. So wherever the cities are established or cities are settled, it is around a water body only, okay, because water as a primary need, we cannot rely on the underground water. So water is a primary need. And why the valleys were populated? Why the valleys are populated? Because water is flowing from them, and valleys are usually too much, they are fertile, so that most of things grow over there, which can cater to the needs of the people. The logic of geography, that the land and water attracted man. Yes, obviously the land has got, land means a solid surface where we can live, we can cultivate, we can interact, and water, that means we can have our primary needs satisfied, was clearly delineated when the jet reached 10,000 feet. Okay, so everything you was understood when the jet is at 10,000 feet. When the jet rose 6 miles high, 6 miles high means 6, okay, 6 miles high, you can convert 6 miles. Now 6 miles you can convert is approximately 9 to 10 kilometers. Now 10 to kilometers means 10,000 10,000 meters, and in 1 meter it is 3 and some more feet, around 3 you can say. So that means 10,000 meter 30,000 feet. So jet usually fly from 25,000 to 35,000 feet. Okay, huge planes, and the smaller planes lower heights. So 35,000 to around 30, it is talking about 30 to 35,000 feet. When the jet rose 6 miles high, it was clear the earth was round. Now at that height, 35,000 feet or something like that, jumbo jets fly at some 40,000, that is the maximum limit. So but they fly around 30 to 35, because going up and again coming down will consume lots of fuel. So what happens? They fly around 30 to 35,000 feet. Now at that feet, on that altitude, you find the earth is seeming to be round. Okay, earth is seeming to be round. Now he can see round, and that excuse me, and that it had more sea than land. Now obviously when we see, when long hauls are there, long haul flights are there, in long haul flight we find that lots of sea comes rather than land, because we have got 2/3 of ocean and 1/3 of land only. Okay, so when we go for long haul flight means from Delhi to Paris, Delhi to New York, or such flights are there, which take 12 to 15 hours of flight. We find lots of time the plane is over water body rather than land. Okay, but it was difficult to understand that the men on earth found causes to hate each other. There's a little bit of land, people are dependent on each other, and a huge earth, and human being is just a minute part of it. Then also, we are causing hate to each other to build walls across cities and killing, and from that height it was not clear why. Now the poet is saying, I have reached to that height, and when I see all the things alike, I find that cities are there, small men are there. Men are not visible in whole of this poem. He is not talking about any of the men. He is talking about cities. He is talking about water bodies. He is talking about valleys. He is talking about rivers. He is talking about countries. But he is not talking about men. Men is a very trivial, and a huge earth is there, and 1/3 of only whatever we see, that huge piece of land we are staying in. The city is very huge, but that city, huge city, is a very small part of the country. Small part of the country is, a small country is a very small part of the land which on earth is available for dwelling, and out of that only 2/3 part is covered with that is only 1/3 part of the whole of the earth. So man is very trivial, really small entity of that particular system. But why this hatred when man does not have any importance? Why is there hatred, killing? And then small part of the land is there, that also they are building boundary walls, and between two countries like India, Pakistan, we have got a boundary. Earlier East Germany, West Germany were having a wall of Berlin Wall was there. So why these walls have been created? Why this hatred? So a larger viewpoint has been put forth by the poet, with starting from small little things. Okay, and the jet flight has been taken into consideration. Now let us see the comprehension part. Find 3 or 4 phases in stanzas 1 and 2 which are likely to occur in geography lesson. Okay, 1 or 2 I'm just telling you. Scaled 6 inches to that mile. That will come in your geography lesson. When you study the maps and all, you find that scaling is done. Then cities where rivers ran, valleys were populated, land and water attracted men. These are some of the phrases which are which will occur in your geography lesson also. Seen from the window of an airplane, the city appears haphazard on the ground, as neat as a map. Haphazard on the ground. Mark the right answers. Then logic of what is logic of geography? Which of the following statements are examples of logic of geography? There are cities where there are rivers. Yes, true. Cities appear as they are not from 6 miles above the ground. Not from 6 miles above the ground. They appear they are not from 6 miles above the ground. Yes, in a way you can say. It is easy to understand why valleys are populated. Yes, because water is flowing from there. It is difficult to understand why humans hate, and yes, it is difficult to understand. Okay, it's not the logic of geography. The earth is round, it has more sea than there is a logic of geography. Okay, mention 2 things that are clear from the height. Understanding men. Okay, and why they hate each other, and why walls are rose to and across the cities and they're killing each other. Not clear from the sky. So what is clear from the sky is why the men is popular. Men is why the people are living near the city and near the water only. There is very much clear. Then 2/3 of water is there, 1/3 of land. That is very much clear. Not clear from the height. Man's attitude. Okay, why men are fighting each other? Causes to hate each other, and walls across the cities to and to kill. So these the poet is not able to understand. Now come to the portion which I gave it to you to just go through this poem and you will understand again. Okay, and comprehension is not very tough part. Now we come to page number 32. Before we go to page number 32, let us discuss. I had asked you to list the precautions. So those precautions need to be listed. Okay. First, what you'll do an earthquake, and secondly, when there's heavy downpour. Whenever there's heavy downpour, actually a few things you must always do. Let's start with the earthquake. Whenever there's an earthquake, firstly leave the building and go to a flat ground which is away from the buildings. That is the first thing, and you should help those who need help. Okay, and first help yourself and take them, like older people who cannot go, young children, and others you can ask to go and leave the building as much as quickly as possible. This is one thing. Secondly, if you cannot leave the building, go and hide under a table or something like that, because the rubble will fall on your head and it will not only break your head, but you'll be deep buried into it. So what you can do is that wherever tables are there, or dining table or something very strong is there, or once sometime in Japan what we do, I mean, people are trained to make the platforms like two almiras, and above that one almira immediately they are pushed and just slide inside, and it will be safe because lots of oxygen for 3 to 4 days is there, sufficient amount, and that you can survive, and then rescuers can come and get you out from there. So this is one thing, and your head should be safe. That is the head, this portion should be safe. Other portion does not matter much, but the head must be safe. So that is one thing. Other things you list out. Okay. Second is when heavy downpour is there. This is quite common in Bombay also. We had in recent days the heavy downpour, and it is a common thing. So what a happy downpour is in your house. First and foremost, whatever important documents are there, they should be always be at the first and the second floor. There was a case of Chennai when heavy downpour was there a couple of years ago. I mean, all the degrees and whatever the documents were there important were all washed away and all got spoiled. So whatever your documents are there, they should always be in the first or the second floor. This is the one precaution we must take. Secondly, we should have we should not landlocked area, because the water must find a some exit point. So wherever we design a city, it should be in that way that it should not be landlocked. Some path, all the drains must be, we should not put all dirt in the drain or polythene bags in the drain, so that drain must all be working well. But whenever there's a heavy downpour and suddenly the water rises up, go to the higher reaches as early as possible. Do not stay over there, because you cannot be stuck. You can be stuck up because water is falling from staircases and the lift also. Do not use lift. Power failure is the very first thing which happens while heavy downpour is there. Do not use lift. Use staircase as early as possible. Go to the higher as or your terrace. Okay, this is the first thing which we must do. And then call for help and keep your supplies also handy with you. Especially in India, we must have some packed food supply like biscuits. They do not get spoiled. Packed milk powder, some urgent emergency medicines. These all we should keep in handy in our houses. So whenever any downpour or heavy downpour or blackout is there, so you must be supplies must be there, so that you can survive. So this is how you must list the things. Now come to the comprehension part. I'm come to page number 32. Voice is voices, active passive voices are given over here in so you must understand the first rule of it. Okay, what is active and what is passive voice? Active voice, where action is done by the subject. I am eating cake. I am eating cake. So action is done by any of the subject is known as active voice. And whenever passive voice is there, that means subject receives the action. That means in the same way we can say the cake is eaten by me. The cake is receiving the action from me. So this is known as passive voice. So this is how you will do it. Like someone stole my bicycle. My bicycle was stolen by someone. Okay, so it is an active case. The tires were deflated by the traffic police. By the traffic police, the tires got deflated. So this is a passive voice. So likewise, you do it all. Okay. Now speaking and writing. So two questions have been given. Hypothetical questions are there, but they are part of your diary writing. So what you can do is that imagine a situation in which you will be writing a diary. Okay, and a few hints have been given, so you make your own paraphrasing and all. So that's how to do it. Okay, and in the second question also, in the same way tourists have been tsunami struck, she remembered visuals of tsunami and warned her parents. Do you remember any incident? So in the way that girl did, who had lied on her geography lesson, you also remember such situation in which you came out of a situation. Now I was talking about story writing other day. Now, what the story writing is? Story writing, what happens whenever you write a story, there should be a hero. There should be a difficult situation. The hero gets stuck into difficult situation and comes out successfully with the solution. So this is how the story must be written. So this is very important. Actually, this is more important than the first question. You should know how the story is written. So write. You can imagine any other difficult situation. No need to write a catastrophic situation or earthquake or natural disaster. You write any other difficult situation which have come naturally to you. Likewise, when going somewhere and suddenly you found that the tire got deflated and they were all panicky. You were a hero. Now you come out as a hero, or you name somebody like XYZ hero, that he came out a hero. He thought thoughtfully that there are some lights at the far away, that he went over there and brought help from there, and then the car got mended and then again started the journey. So hero must be there. They all are trapped in a situation, then hero works out well and then comes out of the situation. This is what is a general theme. This is what actually the story is all about. Okay, so write a story, short story. So comprehension part is too much over here. Okay, so we ended up over here. Whatever your doubts will be there, we'll taking up in the interactive session next Tuesday. Okay, so this is all for this particular chapter. You just do the comprehension part. Okay, that is not lengthy actually. That is maybe lengthy but not that tough. Okay, so just finish it up. Thank you.